we gather here in the middle of the dark, nighttime. And that's not accidental. Christmas doesn't begin in the daylight. It begins at night when the world is quiet enough and honest enough for us to admit what's really going on. And the truth is, not everyone is here for the same reason. People arrive here with many stories. Some arrive joyful. Some arrive tired. Some arrive curious. Some arrive unsure what they believe anymore. And some arrive carrying hurt, perhaps connected to the church itself. All of that is present here tonight, and presence matters. Isaiah speaks to people who knows darkness, people whose sense of home has been shaken, people who have lived with loss, disruption, and with fear. And into that reality comes a voice announcing light. A light that appears, a light that changes how the night is seen. And in the gospel, Luke brings us into a world that is shaped by power. An emperor's name is spoken. Movement is required. A young couple travel far from their home, and a child was born with little shelter. And shepherds stay awake because work continues throughout the night. And into this is where God arrives, right here, in the middle of human life. When I was growing up, my family mostly came to Mass at Christmas and Easter. Christmas Mass felt alive. The church was beautiful as it is here. The music filled the space, and we held hands during prayers. And afterward, people stayed after Mass. Even late at night, there were food, conversation, and laughter. And years later, when I left Hawaii for university, everything around me felt unfamiliar. The land was different, culture was different, rhythms of life were different. And even though I didn't go to church often when I was a child, I found myself returning there when I was a student. Sometimes quietly, sometimes anonymously. It felt steady, it felt familiar, and it felt like a place where I could breathe. Christmas understands that experience. Belonging often arrives before clarity, and presence often arrives before certainty. The angel appears to the shepherds, workers awake in the field, and fears arise quickly. A voice speaks into that fear with good news that was meant for everyone. And the sign is simple: an infant wrapped in swaddling clothes and placed in a manger. God arrives small. God arrives vulnerable. God arrives close enough to touch. This is how God chooses to be with the world. God draws near. And people today carry many weights. Some carry worry about the future. Some carry anxiety about safety or healthcare, work, or family. And some carry the experience of being displaced, questioned, or watched. And some carry grief because of violence or war that continue to shape daily life. Christmas meets all of this with presence. A child is born at night, a song carried into the air by the angels, and light that continues to shine today. Jesus was born in the town of Bethlehem, and Bethlehem means the house of bread. A child is placed in a manger, a feeding trough, and that sign, the trough, speaks clearly. God comes to feed the hungry of the world, hungry in body, hungry in spirit, hungry for dignity, hungry for justice, hungry for peace that can be trusted. And St. Paul tells Titus in our second reading that the grace of God has appeared. Grace forms and shapes people, shapes us. Grace shapes our lives and creates a people eager to do what is good. And grace then gives us our agency, our ability to do. And Christmas comforts, and Christmas does claim. So tonight, for anyone wondering where they fit, the message is simple. There is room. There is room for joy. There is room for weariness. There is room for questions. There is room for wounds. There is room for those who have felt unseen or pushed aside. And there is room for those who have carried faith easily, and for those also who have carried it with difficulty. And this table makes space for all of that. And Christmas speaks another word as well. God's nearness shapes how we live. It forms us into people who stay present, who pay attention, who notice who is missing. It forms us into people who act, who do, who bring food, who make room, who stand with those carrying more than they should have to carry alone. And the angels sing of glory and peace, and the shepherds move. They leave the fields, they walk toward the child Jesus, and they change their night. That is how Christmas continues. We gather here, we listen, we receive. And we step back into a world after we leave that is hungry for dignity, hungry for justice, and hungry for a peace that actually lasts. The light we see tonight does not stay in this place. The light we see tonight travels with us wherever we go, and it asks something of us. Christmas night, tonight, is the night God enters the world as it is. And Christmas tells us there is room, and there is a path we now walk together.